I'm Joyce Hornady. You might say accuracy is my business. I make bullets.
You are listening to the Hornady Podcast.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. This is the Hornady Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Swerzik. Thanks for tuning in on another episode. I'm joined today right here in the studio, marketeer Preston Letfer across the table from me. How's it going, Preston?
It's fine.
It's more than fine.
Oh,
yeah,
you're fine then.
I'm fine then because it was below freezing this morning. Rut is in the air.
It was not below freezing in my house.
Oh.
I wish it was.
I had to start the old Amigo up and defrost it, get that windshield clear. It was cold, and we're coming up on the heart of the rut, of whitetail rut.
I think it's there.
I think the whitetail rut is here. It's just, you can't get a more electric time in the woods.
By the time folks hear this, it's over.
It's over. Well,
Yeah.
by the time folks hear this, you and I might have laid down some stud Nebraska bucks.
If one, shows itself.
Yeah. Well, we've got some hunts coming up, and we were just in the office kind of BSing about what's topical right now to do a podcast on. What do folks want to hear? What can help them? What can benefit our customer base? And, we're talking about hunting because it is hunting season, and largely there's hunting seasons all over the country now, open, in full swing. A lot of them have closed already, but there's still some upcoming. And one of the topics that gets brought up all the time is rifle cleaning. And we've got two really in-depth episodes on rifle cleaning. We've got a third one upcoming with Senior Ballistician Jaden Quinlan. And those were great episodes, and certainly people should listen to those if they haven't.
Yeah, apologize. Jaden is a very busy man, as we all know, but right now he's in Wyoming trying to get a stud whitetail buck.
Yeah, they're on some stud whitetail bucks, which Wyoming, I think Wyoming.
Mule deer.
I'm thinking mule deer.
Grizzly. Elk.
Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. Bighorn sheep.
Sure.
But if you want to talk about a sportsman's paradise, you're talking about the state of Wyoming.
Yeah, go to a riverbed and
then
there's big whitetails.
Yep. Matter of fact, I was on a river hunting mule deer with my old man. We got tired of looking at 140-inch whitetail deer. They just flood into this alfalfa feed. It was incredible. Tangential. Anyways, one of the topics, though, was like, okay, it's hunting season. We've got these really in-depth rifle cleaning episodes, but what about just the guy, and we're gonna go and talk about this, that just gets his rifle out to go hunting. He's not a precision marksman. He's not a competitor. He's a hunter, and he's got a hunting rifle. Preston, growing up, how often did you clean that old 270?
Never.
Right.
Not before I shot it. Not when I had it. No, never.
No, I think back to me growing up with my Ruger M77 287 Roberts. Rifle cleaning was, I took some sheep's wool that had rim oil on it, and we wiped it down on the wiped it down before we put it in the gun case. Yeah,
I actually, my uncle, after I started working here, got a 308. He wanted me to get that sighted in, make sure it wasn't him because it wasn't shooting just right. But he also, at the same time, gave me his Winchester Model 88 in 243. And now it's old as the hills.
Yeah.
It's old as him. Yeah, probably. But anyway, I said, well, let's see how this shoots. It shot okay, minute of deer in Nebraska. It shot fine.
High plate.
I said, let's clean it. And the first time after I took the brush through it with Vortec and let it sit and I shoved a patch down it, it puked the most blue goo you've ever
just
seen
royal
in
blue
your
like
life.
your shirt.
Exactly. It was, I'll never forget it.
Well, I feel like that is not an uncommon occurrence for the average hunter. And this spans all geographical locations. I feel like from east to west and all in the middle and north to south, there's a large group of hunters that they love to hunt. They love to hunt for meat. Whatever the reasons are, they love to get out there. Yeah, and hunt. But they, once or twice a year that goes on. And they might target practice here or there, make sure their gun's dialed in. So they're not doing a ton of high volume shooting. And then consequently, they're not doing any cleaning for the most part. And that's something that can affect the performance of your system. That can affect the accuracy first and foremost. It can affect the pressure. Mm-hmm. It can affect the function. If you have a high pressure event, your bolt might not want to open. If it's a semi-automatic, you might have some ejection and feeding problems. There's just a slew of things that can happen due to rifle maintenance or lack thereof. And I thought that's a great opportunity for us to take this time. Okay, we've got our 2 in-depth episodes. That's not for everybody. What about the guy that's just got the hunting rifle? And yeah, I shoot it a few times a year, pop a coyote every now and then, take a deer hunting, never cleaned it. What do I need to just get this thing serviced? What I'm going to call a functional cleaning.
Sure.
Get this thing back in the field shooting well. And you've got a toolbox with you.
Yeah.
Here it
maybe
is.
a 20-inch toolbox there, maybe?
Yeah. It was on the sale. Stanley.
I don't even know where I got it.
No, but
Maybe at the Menards.
it just seemed like a good opportunity, number one, to address that. Hey, let's just do a good service cleaning, you know? I'm not scrubbing stuff down to bare steel and all these different solvents. What do I need, bare bones, to just get this thing cleaned and functioning? So we've done an episode where you went through like your scope mounting type of tools.
Yep.
And we thought, what an opportunity. We'll bust out your cleaning kit, what all you have in there, because this is just some basic stuff that you just have stored in a convenient receptacle, but it's some of the basic stuff that you need to just get a rifle clean and functioning well. So let's go through it. We'll talk about the products you use, some other substitute products that might work just as well, and walk through what it takes to just get a rifle, just like that Model 88. Okay, I have a rifle. It's really dirty. I've never cleaned it. What do I need to do to it?
Sure. Well, and I'll be honest with you, I'm a little nervous because I clean this maybe, and organize it maybe once every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so at this point, it's been done once or twice.
Yeah. This used to live up with us in tech.
Yep.
And we'd have a little rollout desk or
It's a cart, stainless steel drawers.
toolboxes.
It was nice.
Yeah. So I would clean on there. We'd clean on there. I would say first and foremost, one investment that you'll never regret is a high quality cleaning rod from the get-go. So
Yeah.
we'll get these out of the way, and then we'll get into the toolbox. I would say, but this is the first one I ever got, and it's long. But in the world of precision rifle, you got long barrels. So all of these are 22 cal. Now they do have larger diameter ones that are strictly for like 30 cal and above and things like that. Those are probably better.
They might be.
I can use this for everything and get by with it.
Yep. I really like going with 22 cal for the type of person we're talking to today. Utilitarian. You can
Covers
clean your
everything.
22 cal, your 6.5, your 270, your 308, 30-06, what have you. And they're carbon fiber, really strong. You got to have the bearings in there.
Yeah, this one used to spin really nicely. It doesn't anymore, but
Yeah.
I've put a lot of miles on it.
Yep.
This one is a Tipton. Also doesn't free spin, but these are very nice too. Very ergonomical.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say. It's a cleaning rod. You
Yeah.
should have them.
Yeah, here's some special notes on it, though. Like I said, my first one I ever bought was the Tipton, and that's the one I still use today. Vortec makes a good rod, so does Dewey. Like the carbon fiber, got to have the ball bearings in there. The key, though, if you're going to do yourself a service and do this right, don't get the segmented rods. You're just going to end up with heartache if
They're
you
just going to untwist.
and they're going to bend, and it's
Yep.
just no good. And
One piece.
Yep, get a one-piece carbon fiber rod. They're relatively inexpensive. I think they're $40 or $50. Get yourself a good rod. It's an investment. You can use it on all your rifles if you buy the right diameter and length. And just like anything, good tools for the right job. It just pays dividends for you.
Bore Driver ELDX. Fast and easy to load. The polymer base seals the bore and engages the rifling while the post and pedals grip the bullet's boat tail. With its superior ballistic coefficients and reduced drag, the Bore Driver ELDX drives its 340 grain bullet to target with the energy and accuracy that turns shots into success. When you have one shot this muzzleloader season, make it count and use the best. Bore Driver ELDX from Hornady.
Well, I suppose we can open this. I don't even know what's up in here. Some steel wool.
Yep.
If I ever get some rust, there's some steel wool. A little
Yep.
bit of oil and steel wool. Nothing.
Empty.
All right. This is really off the cuff, folks, and,
Yeah.
and you're getting it firsthand.
I'd say the next thing you're going to need if you got a cleaning rod is what do you put at the end of the rod?
Okay. Well, this looks terrible,
What? Yeah, but it's functional.
but it's very, very functional. But this is the nickel-coated Tipton Jag set.
Mhm.
One of them is not because I broke the tip off of it and replaced it with a non-nickel coated. That's how
Right.
you know that this is real.
yeah.
And this used to be see-through.
Yeah.
But spending time with
other solvents.
And things like that. It hasn't become see-through, but get yourself a good Jag set. Now, there's many kinds. The Dewey Jag, some people prefer those. I seem to have been using these for a long time now.
I like these because they have the tip, and you can put them. I use patches, not cotton. The Dewey Jags are great for cotton, but this standard patch Jag. And explain to me the nickel over the brass.
So brass could have a tendency with copper eliminating solvents because there is some of components of copper in brass, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not a metallurgist, but it can kind of maybe give you false readings saying, oh, I'm still getting copper out, but in fact, it might be from just the brass Jag. So the nickel-coated Jag will help prevent false readings on your patches and when it's actually already clean.
Yep. Got it. All right. So a good set of Jags, always a good investment. Same thing as a rod. If you invest in the set, it's got your 17 caliber all the way up to your 45 and 50 cal, all the steps in between in a nice compact little carrying case for storage. Works great. And do you use any brushes with that, or are you strictly a patch guy?
Absolutely, I do. This has got a nice little, you could hang this up on the wall.
Mount it.
Yep. Not often, to be honest with you, though, but I do have brushes.
Okay.
Now, some people will probably look at this and be like, oh my gosh, you need new brushes. But I don't use them that often, and they serve a purpose to disturb the bore.
Yep.
And these do that just fine. Got some Bortec ones here and some Pro Shot.
Yep.
But all of these here, except for that one, are the plastic
nylon brushes. Yep.
Rather than the brass or the copper. Now, either one of them are fine. We use copper down in the lab all the time, but they're cleaning every single day, and they seem to last a little bit longer.
Sure. I like the nylon. It's just not quite as aggressive.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to really, really clean up a extremely foul barrel or something, maybe there's some more to copper. But the nylon brushes, you can agitate that stuff. A lot of these solvents that we use are air activated, if you will. And so you can agitate them, get them aerated. That helps disturb some of the particulates in the bore. And I think a nylon brush does a great job with those.
Yeah, and these are pretty caliber specific.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you're probably not going to buy a 22 cal and have satisfactory results on a 30 cal.
Right.
Or
so vice versa.
Keep that in mind.
Okay.
On the brushes. The other biggest thing that I'm going to talk about, and now I used a Tipton for the longest time. Now it's at home, so I can clean at home and I can also clean at the office, but is a bore guide.
Definite. I don't want to say non-negotiable, but they're inexpensive. You buy one, you can use it for virtually any of your rifles, and it just makes it easy.
Yeah, I like this Lyman one. It threads on the end, where some of them are just a pressure fit, and over time they can get loose. But this one threads on.
Nice. On
the end. You've got a locking collar here. Now, this will go in the bolt raceway of your 700 or Savage or whatever size bolt action.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing America's rifle, it also comes with this guide for the back end of the AR-15 upper receiver. So
now, what's the point of the bore guide? What's the goal of using a bore guide versus just putting the rod in the barrel?
I guess the theory is you're going to keep your rod straight and give it no chance to go into that chamber and scratch things or get it in there cattywampus.
Mm-hmm.
You want things going straight. I'll be honest with you, you can damage a rifle cleaning it improperly.
Absolutely.
And this is going to help you not do that.
The other corollary is that collar that you're talking about that threads on the end or is press fit on, those are going to help seal the solvents from coming back into the chamber.
Sure.
Now, generally, we clean with the muzzle facing down. Gravity works all the time. However, we do want to keep the solvent out of the chamber, run it back in the magazine, simply because I don't want to have to clean that area.
We'll address that too, because I do have to clean that area.
Sure.
So I would call these here kind of your non-negotiables, as well as maybe we should talk about a solvent. I use this one right here, Bortec Eliminator. I've used it for millennia. You also use the Wipeout.
Mm-hmm. Wipeout foam or patch out.
Yeah, this is non-caustic.
Leave it in there.
Yeah.
It's no ammonia.
No ammonia, and cleans copper well, cleans carbon well.
Yep.
Just that's your basic Vortec eliminator. Try them out if you're curious.
Yeah, I would say again with our target audience here, just being the guy that's not the super high volume shooter, not the precision rifleman, just somebody. Hey, I want to keep my guns in service. You can't go wrong with the Vortec eliminator.
Yeah.
It's a one-step process. You can brush it in a little bit if you want to, but you don't have to. Let it sit for 20 minutes, patch it out, maybe give it 2 cleanings, and you're good to go. And you get your carbon, you get your copper, and it's a one-and-done solution. And so if you're going to invest in a solvent and you're only going to get one, I'd say that's really the one.
That's a good one. This one's a 16-ounce bottle. I think you can get smaller, too.
Of course.
If you're not going to do it very often. It is environmentally friendly, contains no ammonia, but don't swallow it.
Yeah, I wouldn't swallow it either. But it is been using that for lots of years as well. Again, we mentioned the Wipeout foam. Awesome product. Fill the bore up with the foam. It does the work. Patch that stuff right out of there.
Or
That
just
was a good one.
Their liquid one, I've used that before
Yeah.
with the accelerator. That's pretty handy too
Mhm.
because it accelerates things.
Yeah, it accelerates things. Now, maybe grab some patches out of there.
because here's your non-negotiables right
Yeah.
here.
And before we go into the rest of what's in your box, I feel like what you have on the table here,
That's it.
we could walk through just a basic, fundamental, this is just a servicing type of clean.
So yeah, these are tipped-in patches, cotton. Ideally, you'd have the right size for your Jags for every caliber. I've had to trim before, and I'd just rather not do that.
Cut them with some scissors,
So,
no big deal.
Um,
But two
in
different
the,
sizes
In the grand
here.
scheme of things, they're not that expensive. Go ahead and get you the appropriate size. That way, you're not trimming.
And I would advise getting some decent patches, getting a higher quality patch. I've had some of the cheaper ones in the past, and you go to stick them on the end of your Jag, and you're fraying them out, and you
they
pop
open
them right
up.
through. They're
Yeah.
thin. Buy the good patches. It's a small price difference, and they work a lot better.
Yeah. So here we've got 22 cal to 270. It's just a 1 1/8 inch square. I think I have some Pro Shot ones for 22 cal because these get a little bit big on 22 cal, if I'm not mistaken. And these are 270 up to 35 cal. But
And you can control some of that by the size of your Jag. You know,
Yep.
if you're going to use a 30 caliber patch, but you're cleaning a 7mm, you could put maybe a 22 caliber Jag on there, and then you've got more room
Yep.
for the patch.
yeah,
So
you can do all that. You want to feel some resistance as these cleaning rods go down the barrel, but
Yep.
you don't want it hard and you don't want it way too easy.
All right, so you've got your non-negotiables, your basic equipment. How do you advise just setting it up and getting a good clean? Are you brush it in, you're letting it soak? Do you clean once, twice, three
if
times?
this is my 270,
Yeah, from back in the day.
24 years old, and I decide, hey, maybe I should clean this once. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to set it up on the kitchen table. Hopefully, I've got a gun
Cradle
vise or
or a
something
vise.
like that,
Yeah.
bipod. But I'm going to have it angled down. I'm going to insert the bore guide. I'll probably do a wet patch, number 1.
With the
Get
Vortec.
that started with the Vortec, and then I'll follow it up with squirting some of this Vortec on one of these nylon brushes and give it 20 brush strokes.
Okay.
That's an arbitrary number. Pick your own.
Yeah.
Right. Give it some brush strokes, and then I'll leave. I'll go mow the yard, walk the dog,
Yeah.
do something else.
Yeah, 20, 30 minutes.
Watch a different episode of the Hornady podcast.
There you go.
Maybe check out the other Hornady YouTube videos. Anyway, sorry. Shameless plug. Not that funny. And then I'll come back and I'll take dry patches and I'll
Patch it out.
patch it out. Now, if I've never done this to this rifle before, which maybe some of you are experiencing that same thing, you probably want to repeat the process.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Yep.
When those patches come out almost clean,
Call her good.
it's not in there. It's in my desk drawer. But then, I should mention that, take the highest concentration of rubbing alcohol.
99%
99%
isopropyl alcohol.
Yep. And then I will put that on 2 patches, run that through. That gets rid of any extra solvents. And then I'll take 2 more dry
Okay.
patches and run those through.
That's a simple process. Doesn't have to take very long. Not a ton of work. And again, this isn't scrubbing things down to absolute bare
Yeah,
steel.
we're not getting out a bore scope or anything. We're
No,
just
I want to
making
make
ourselves
this
feel good.
Yeah, I want it to be clean, and I want it to live in that homeostasis, right? Where you got a really clean barrel. It's going to take a few shots to foul in. Then you've got a service life, and then it will foul out, and you'll have to clean it. I want to stay in that that middle ground where things are jiving and shooting well as long as I can. So, on hunting rifle, it might be every 60 to 80 shots for me, where I'll just do a one step with the eliminator, one cleaning with the eliminator every 60 to 80 shots, and it just keeps me right in the middle. And I don't know, for me, that works really well on the hunting rifles.
Yeah, there's some that would argue, or maybe not argue, but caution that leaving a powder foul barrel, over a year, over
if you're going to put it in the safe,
if you're going to put it in the safe, and maybe there's some changes in humidity, that moisture can actually get under that powder fouling and start messing with your barrel a little bit. So there's some people that would say, clean it before you put it in the safe for a while.
Yeah, maybe run a patch of one shot or some sort of gun oil down there just to season the bore. And when you bring it out to put it back in service, clean it out again, go foul it in.
The HIT Target Impact Indicator. Instant hit confirmation at extended ranges has never been easier. The HIT Target Impact Indicator easily attaches to most target stands and not the steel target itself. The highly sensitive internal accelerometer detects vibration when the target is impacted, activating the red LED lights that flash Morse code for HIT. Where impact confirmation can be difficult, light it up with the HIT Target Impact Indicator from Hornady.
All right. So, simple process, simple tools, really. Now, that's the cleaning process, but there's some aftercare that I know you like to do once you clean a rifle with your action cleaner, the grease that you use, et cetera, chamber mop.
So this is these are from Tipton. This is a set. I've broken my other chamber mop. I need to get another one. So honestly, what I've been doing is I've been wrapping a Kleenex around this chamber mop, and making it fit the chamber.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that. Making it work. But this is for the raceways of your bolt.
Yeah. And the lug recesses.
Yep. So I go through these from time to time. I probably use them a little bit too much, but I want to get my chamber clean. You need to get your chamber clean
and dry.
If dry over clean, right? Because you don't want any solvents left in there that can to go scientific on you. When the cartridge fires, the brass swells to the chamber walls, and it grips the chamber walls, and that's what helps keep it there rather than coming back at your face.
Yep.
If there's moisture or oil or anything in that chamber, it makes it a little bit too lubrous.
Yep.
To where the chamber cannot grab onto that cartridge, and you'll get pressure signs.
You'll get pressure signs, the bolt thrust, and liquid doesn't compress real well, so you'll end up with some dents on your case too.
So keep a very dry chamber.
So after you're done cleaning, you pull out your chamber guide or your bore guide, run in your chamber mop and your raceways and your lug recess, get those clean, get those dry. Always sage advice when you're done cleaning.
Yep. And then I'll move on to the bolt itself. It's been out this whole time doing its own thing. And I got a dirty rag in here. I'll go ahead and wipe that down, or Kleenexes work just great too. But
paper towel, shop rag.
This works great. And I should throw this out there. When I'm done running this through the bore and I come back out, wipe it right off. Yeah. So that's really handy to have as well. But the other two things that you have to do, and my oil.
It's up top.
My different oil.
Oh, you've got some oil.
I have some oil, but I put this on the bolt body. This is just a gun oil, or this is a Hoppies. This is a Lucas.
Yep. Got the Lucas Performance Gun Oil.
Yeah.
Another oil that I know you were referencing is shout out to a shooter that hooked us up with this, which was a
Lou Smith.
Lou Smith out there in Colorado.
He was. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah, but it's a aviation grade oil called Aeroshell.
Yep.
Anyway, a little bit of light coating on the body of the bolt. Nothing, not dripping it.
I'll do this simultaneously, and we got Q-tips.
Yep.
I like to wipe the back of the lugs of the bolt, and then the cocking cam in the bolt. So I'll wipe those clean. I'll put some of this. I think this is Bortec. But grab your favorite pen of grease. These are really handy to have. You can cap it and nothing runs out. These are fantastic. Would recommend this. But then I'll put that oil on the bolt body, rub it all around, put it in the action, cycle it a few times, dry fire it. No ammunition's nearby, of course.
Yeah.
But cycle it a few times, then I'll pull that bolt out and I'll wipe off the excess oil.
Okay.
And I now have a lubed bolt for my action.
And the big one that cocking cam. I feel like that's an area.
I didn't know that existed for many years.
Yeah. And so when you do that, when you're talking about running it, you got to pull the trigger and then cock that bolt again to spread that grease out around there. But that will dramatically change your bolt manipulation experience. And if you're really experiencing some tough bolt manipulation, if you were to disassemble your bolt, you need to lube those threads as well, where your actual firing pin assembly threads into the bolt body.
And if you didn't know it existed, like me, for many years, you may have to have a gunsmith polish that cocking cam. And that'll fix it if you're experiencing hard bolt lift.
Yeah, but that's a simple process, and that gets the whole rifle really back into service.
Yeah. Some other things I have in here in case anybody's curious. Screwdrivers, more chamber mops, a pick.
A little pick is actually, if you've got some stubborn carbon built up on something, you just need to scrape it off there, you can do it.
This is a punch that fits the takedown pins of an AR-15 perfectly.
Handy.
Hopefully you don't need those. Hopefully it's not that far.
Hopefully it's not that far gone.
But yeah, I just keep some spare chamber mops, some old Dewey Jags. Oh, this is the shotgun stuff here.
Oh yeah, if you're a shotgunner.
So big old Jag for a 12 gauge, some chamber mops. This thing is from Remington, and this actually squeegees the bore out.
Okay.
Works fantastic.
I bet it does.
But yeah, I have a different shotgun cleaning rod, obviously. But I might be out of those raceway cleaners. I might have to get some more of those.
Yeah, we'll have to.
But then one-shot gun cleaner lube, of course.
Of course. Yeah, this is
and
just
more patches.
The one-shot gun cleaner and lube is just kind of I'm going to say like low impact. It's not a super good solvent. It's not some crazy oil, but it's just a really good general purpose cleaner, lubricant, protectant, if you will.
Fantastic protectant.
So a lot of times if I'm putting a gun in storage, I will clean it like we talked about. Then I'll soak a patch down with the one shot, run that through, let it sit for a little bit, and then push 2 dry patches through there, and I'll throw it in the safe and forget about it indefinitely. And I know that that's in there protecting the bore. Also really good on bolts, bolt bodies, AR, semi-automatic parts. It does a great job because it's a dry lubricant. Doesn't leave a messy film, doesn't really attract dust. Really good for that application.
Big fan of that. Now, maybe we should talk about bore snakes. You ever used a bore snake?
For a shotgun, yes.
Yeah, for a shotgun, I have too.
Yep.
Yep. But they do sell them for all different calibers. And I'm not saying that they're a bad thing. They're probably a great thing. But I would use it as almost a bit of an emergency thing, right? Have it in the pack, have it in the truck, have it in something like that. If you're going to really clean the rifle, probably get you a cleaning rod and do it this way.
Yep, I would have to agree with that. Now, this begs the question, I think we need to bring in the old toolbox, the real toolbox, and go through that, because you've gone through your scope mounting equipment. We've got the cleaning equipment. Listeners, let us know if you would like to see Preston's gunsmithing is an overstatement, but just kind of gun care box.
There's an infinite axis mill in there.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, if you're curious, if you want to see whenever a scope needs mounted, for the most part, I'm going to probably mount it at work. Mm-hmm. I keep a lot of tools in there. Matt Ritchie's running the cameras right now. He's in the toolbox daily, it seems.
Yeah, I think we all are. I'm down there all the time.
If you want to see how we get by with the tools that I have in my office that I've acquired over 8.5 years of working here, let us know. We'll show you.
The Hornady Security Fireproof Keypad Safe. With a heavy-duty 16-gauge steel body, extra-thick 8-gauge steel door, and 4 1-inch diameter locking lugs, the fireproof safe achieves a fire rating of 30 minutes for up to 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit. Both the interior and adjustable shelf are covered in a protective carpet that offers flexible storage configurations while safeguarding valuables from damage. The Fireproof Keypad Safe from Hornady Security.
Yeah. Preston, I think this really sums it up, though, nicely for, again, the guy we talked about at the beginning of the show. I didn't even know you're supposed to clean a rifle. What do I need to do? It's, it fouled out and now doesn't shoot very well. Maybe my barrel shot out. And there's a lot of, your barrel shot out? How many rounds are on it? Well, not enough to shoot the barrel out. Have you ever cleaned it? No, man. And it might be something as simple as just getting some Vortex Eliminator, a few simple tools, cleaning that bore, taking care of it, and that gun will come right back into shooting.
Yeah, it can. Shout out to MDT. They did a video, and I think the goal was to try and shoot out a 6.5 Creedmoor as fast as they could. I think they took 1,000 rounds and shot it in an afternoon.
Yep.
And they cooked bacon on the barrel, right?
Yeah, that'll happen on those big jobs.
And then they ate it. Delicious. Oh. But they actually sent the barrel back to, I believe, the distributor. He cleaned it, did a little bit of JB on it, and it came right back into shooting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Well, we've got our episodes about those intensive kind of cleaning mechanisms. There's a part 3 that's definitely in the hopper.
A little bit more scientific.
A little more scientific. But for the basics, for the lower volume shooter, stuff like this and a simple cleaning procedure, keep you in the field, keep you shooting well, keep you out of harm's way with safety and function problems, and keep the accuracy where it needs to be. And with that, I don't think we need to go any further.
No. And I would say maybe the sum of all of this stuff has a bit of a price tag on it.
Well,
but
sure.
remember, this is once in your lifetime that you have to buy it, unless something breaks, but probably pretty rare.
Yeah, for the most part, I think, you invest in some good tools. These are just the brands and the tools that you like to use. There's certainly other options out there, but between Vortec, Tipton, Lyman, I think, that really about sums it up for your kit right here.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Preston, thanks for walking through this. I'm sure we'll be rummaging through here. I'm setting rifles up for a couple hunts that are coming on at the end of the week. So I'll be lubing bolts and wiping stuff down.
I ran a couple patches down the barrel this morning.
Awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the fall. Hopefully by the time this podcast airs, you and I and Jaden have both knocked down some bucks. Matt Ritchie behind the camera, try to get his youngest son on a good buck coming up here. So all things are good. It's the fall, and keep your rifle in service with some basic and simple cleaning tools like this.
Couldn't have said it better.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Hornady Podcast. I think this episode is really good for those low-volume shooters that just need to keep their rifle clean and operating well. We hope you learned something. We'll catch you on the next one.